Hey there, I'm going to make two things today. I'm going to make a Feijoa and ginger jam, but I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use jam set sugar, and then I'm going to make good old roll up or Feijoa leather. You need the snotty bit in the middle. This is for the jam. It's three simple ingredients. It's ginger, jam set sugar, Feijoa. And for all of that Feijoa, we only got 1 kilogram of snotty bits. Okay, so a little bit later, I'm going to show you how to make some fruit leather so you don't waste all the pith. I love the Feijoa jam with a bit of ginger. I think the two goes nicely and it just adds to it. I'm going to show you how to peel it without too much of an issue. Take a little bit of cling wrap and then just on the graty side of it, get ginger cleaned. Dump this to the compost. I just want little nibbles of ginger throughout the jam. Chop it up, nice fine little pieces. Okay, so I'm going to add Feijoa into a pot. It's jam set for sugar. Sugar in. And with the ginger, be careful of adding too much ginger, because it can make it a little bit spicy, so rather conservative. If you like spicy gingery flavor, go for it. But now what I want to do is I want to simmer it slowly and then bring it to a full boil, stir it in, and bring it to boil slowly. Okay, now the aim of the slowly bringing to boil is to make sure that all the sugar's evenly dissolved. And you'll notice there, most of the crystals are gone. It's just some of the sandy bits of the stuff. Now I'll bring it to a vigorous boil and your jam is done. I'll show you how to preserve it. So it's come on to boil. You'll see there's a scum on top. You can remove that scum. I used to be so anal about it. I used to spend hours trying to get the scum off. But what I've noticed is some of it is a little bit of scum, which is impurities. But in order to build a balanced society, scum is required, I suppose. For a tester, I'm going to put a little bit of jam on a plate. It should wrinkle up in a couple of minutes. Now just to test it, see it wrinkling up like that? It's perfect. I've used the steamer. You can boil them whilst they're still hot. Fuck, it's hot. Whilst they're still hot, take the hot jam, after you've tested it, into a jug. Okay, I'm just going to use a jar here. It's not a preserving jar, it's just a normal clip jar. But this stuff never lasts long enough in my family anyway. There's one challenge that I find when making jam. If I try seal it too early, it doesn't seem to set. So I normally leave it for about 5 to 10 minutes. It'll still be hot. It'll be hot enough to preserve because there's just a small little gap over there. But I let the pectin start to set and then I seal it up. Now this has been standing for a few minutes, so I'm just going to seal it up. And when that cools in, it's sealed and will last a good year or two on the shelf. But if it's as good as mine tastes, then essentially it won't need to last for a year, will it? For the leather, take all the piths that you had left over, top the tips and the bottoms off, because it makes it very astringent. And you need 1 kilogram. Floury bit for the compost. And I use 15% sugar just because I've taken all the sweet bits out of it anyway. So I'm using 150 grams of sugar, which seems like a lot, but believe me, if it's not sweet enough, the kids are not going to eat it anyway. And I cheat because kids don't like to eat brown stuff. So I'm going to put a little bit of coloring in, just a couple of drops of yellow and a couple of drops of blue. And I'm going to blend it up. So now it's nicely blended, as smooth as you can. This is all the sandy bits, I call them. Onto silicone mats. It works much better. Invest in a few. Go to any old cooking shop or the Chinese shop, which Michelle hates me saying. Smear it out as level as you can. Okay, lift them up carefully on the back of a baking tray, and then I'm going to put it in the oven at about 80 degrees. Everybody says you have to use a dehydrator, save your money. Oven's got heat, it's got extraction, it's got all of those things. Oven's a good dehydrator. Okay, so the leather, it's been about 3 hours at about 80 degrees. Okay, so there we go. Beautiful. Now, you're going to see a couple of things. You might over dry it. If you do over dry it, just take a spray bottle, a water bottle, spray it lightly. It'll rehydrate it. It'll become floppy like leather. Pack it for the kids' lunchbox.